This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we shall start the class. Today's topic is follicular adenoma. So before going into the topic, we need to know the normal histology of thyroid. So in normal histology, you can see these are all the lobules of thyroid parenchyma, and these lobules are separated by interlobular connective tissue. And each lobule contains variably sized follicles. All these are follicles of varying sizes, and these follicles are lined by low columnar to cuboidal epithelium, low cuboidal to tall columnar epithelium, and these follicles are filled with the colloid, and this colloid contains thyroglobulin hormone. So this is the normal tissue you need to keep in mind, and each lobule contains follicles which are separated by thin fibrous septa, and these fibrous septa contains small sized blood vessels. These are the blood vessels and nerves. So this is the high powered view of the normal thyroid parenchyma, and this is one lobule showing variably sized follicles, and these follicles are lined by the low cuboidal to tall columnar epithelium, and these are filled with the colloid. This is colloid. This pink color homogeneous structure is the colloid. And what are these air bubbles are called? And this is the scalloping of colloid. Whenever you see the air bubbles, that is the scalloping of colloid. That means this colloid contains thyroglobulin hormone, and scalloping of colloid, that implies the follicles are active in state. So this thyroglobulin hormone is utilized for the hormonal production by these thyroid follicular epithelial cells. That's why. So these follicular epithelial cells, they will eat away the colloid. So that's why there are clear spaces, which indicates the activity of the normal thyroid follicles. So coming to the follicular adenoma, it is the most common benign thyroid tumor occurring more frequently in adult women. So clinically it appears as a solitary nodule. And other conditions presenting a solitary nodule, dominant nodule of nodular goiter, dominant nodule of nodular goiter, and thyroid parenchyma. All these three conditions present with the solitary nodule. So morphological features. So we need to see first the gross. There are 4 characteristics which can distinguish solitary nodule of follicular adenoma to that of nodule of a dominant nodule of a multinodular goiter. Dominant nodule of a multinodular goiter we can differentiate clinically. Only histologically we can differentiate it. So these are the 4 features. First, it is a solitary nodule, and it is complete encapsulation, where in case of nodular goiter there is partial encapsulation, and there is clear distinct architecture inside and outside of the capsule, and there will be compression of the normal thyroid parenchyma. Surrounding parenchyma will be compressed by the growing tumor tissue. So these 3 features you need to remember. This is the growing tumor tissue, which is well encapsulated, and it is solitary nodule, well encapsulated, and the surrounding thyroid parenchyma is compressed. And occasional areas of hemorrhage we can also notice, and areas of cystic degeneration we can also notice. So these are the few features we can distinguish follicular adenoma and dominant nodule in multinodular goiter. So clinically, the patients present in both these cases, dominant nodule, this is the dominant nodule in multinodular goiter, and this is the nodule in follicular adenoma. Clinically, the patient presents with same solitary nodular goiter, solitary nodule in thyroid region. Patient presents with like that, and whenever we palpate it, It is a solid in consistency, whereas it is multinodular goiter, it is cystic in consistency because it is a cystically dilated space which is filled with the colloid. Colloid is nothing but a fluid. Okay, so it is solid in consistency, whereas it is cystic in consistency. Radiologically, we can also differentiate both these, and whenever we cut it, we can see a well encapsulated solid tumor. Whereas here we can see multiple nodules of varying sizes and are filled with the colloid. So here it is, whereas in case of follicular adenoma, it is a well encapsulated solitary tumor and the surrounding tissue it is compressing, leading to the hemorrhage. So because it is compressing the surrounding blood vessels, we can also notice areas of hemorrhage and less or scant colloid. Here it is, these cystically dilated spaces, we can see this brownish color, it is the colloid. All this is colloid. So whereas here you can see gray white area, which is a solitary, it is a tumor tissue. So cut section of a follicular adenoma, we can see gray white to red brown and less colloidal than the surrounding thyroid parenchyma, and degenerative changes such as fibrous scarring, focal calcification, areas of hemorrhage, and cyst formation we can notice. So histologically, these three features we need to remember. The tumor cells show complete fibrous encapsulation, and the tumor cells are benign follicular epithelial cells. These are not malignant cells, so that we can differentiate it from the carcinoma of thyroid. So these follicular epithelial cells, almost every follicular epithelial cell look like a benign cell, and the cells may also form trabecular, solid, and cord patterns with little follicle formation. So here we can see, this is the picture given in your Harshmohan textbook, and here we can see the tumor tissue showing various small follicles, otherwise known as fetal follicles. These are closely packed to each other, and is encapsulated by a fibrous capsule, and the surrounding normal, this is a normal thyroid tissue. We can see, we can differentiate these follicles to that of these follicles because of the size as well as the colloid consistency, and these normal thyroid tissue is compressed. So these follicles are separated by a myxoid stroma. This is the original HND picture. So here we can see follicles, very small follicles which are closely compact to each other and are separated by myxoid stroma. This pink color, the stroma is myxoid stroma and variably sized blood vessels, and this is the capsule. So it is well encapsulated. So and these follicles are lined by benign appearing. All these nuclei are benign, not malignant appearing. So all these nuclei are same in size. There are no nuclear features like atypia, nuclear to cytoplasmic ratio enlargement, and all these features we cannot see. All are benign appearing. So it is a benign tumor. So histologically, there are 6 patterns of follicular adenoma: microfollicular adenoma, normofollicular adenoma, macrofollicular adenoma, trabecular adenoma, Huttel cell adenoma, atypical adenoma. So you just remember all the names of these 6 types. So in case of microfollicular adenoma, there will be there are very small sized follicles with little or no colloid and separated by abundant loose stroma. In case of normofollicular adenoma, the follicles are closely packed and similarly looks like a normal thyroid. And in case of macrofollicular adenoma, there will be large sized follicles distended with colloid. So we need to differentiate macrofollicular adenoma to that of normal thyroid tissue or macro multinodular goiter. So in multinodular goiter, how to differentiate? This tissue is very well encapsulated, whereas in case of MNG, it is partially encapsulated and filled with the colloid. And trabecular adenoma, which resembles embryonal thyroid and consists of closely packed solid or trabecular pattern of epithelial cells with occasional small abortive follicles. And Haptel cell adenoma. It is an uncommon variant composed of small trabeculae of large cells having abundant granular eosinophilic cytoplasm. This is the description of a Haptel cell. That is, these Haptel cells are large in size with abundant granular oxyphilic cytoplasm. Not eosinophilic cytoplasm, oxyphilic cytoplasm. That is somewhat clear or pale cytoplasm and vesicular nuclei. And the tumor cells do not form follicles and contain little stroma. So another type is atypical adenoma. It is a term used by follicular adenoma which has more pronounced cellular proliferation, so that features may be considered indicative of malignancy such as pleomorphism, increased mitosis, and nuclear atypia. So atypical adenoma is similar to that of malignant adenoma, malignant thyroid cancer. So the features we need to remember is pleomorphism, increased mitosis, nuclear atypia. So if these features are present, we call it as carcinoma. If these features are absent, we call it as atypical adenoma. So in our laboratory, these are the two specimens provided. Follicular adenoma. If you want to take down the screenshot and write it in your notes, you can take it. Otherwise, just listen the class. So we need to describe the specimen like this. This is the cut-open specimen of hemithyroidectomy showing solitary thyroid nodule about 4 cm in diameter. And the cut section shows a single well-encapsulated pale to gray-white nodule with cystic change. And a small portion of adjacent compressed normal thyroid tissue is noted. So the specimen is identified as follicular adenoma of thyroid. The description is similar to both of these, but the size is different as well as an irregular dark areas of hemorrhage is noted. In this specimen, we can see the irregular dark areas of hemorrhages. Whereas in this specimen, we can see cystic spaces, very few cystic spaces. This is the only difference between these two. And whenever you see the slide like this, you need to describe the slide like this. The section shows a well-encapsulated tumor tissue composing of closely packed follicles, which are lined by benign appearing low cuboidal to columnar epithelial cells. And surrounding thyroid tissue shows compressed follicles. If you want, you can take the screenshot of this. This is a very easy specimen. You can easily say it as follicular adenoma. This is a very beautiful picture. I found it in internet. We need to remember two major features to differentiate follicular adenoma to that of dominant nodule in MNG. If the patient presents with dominant nodule in MNG, then usually MNG, the nodules are, if we palpate the MNG, there will be multiple nodules. So clearly we can say that it is a MNG. But whereas in case of dominant nodule in MNG, only one cystically dilated nodule, if the patient presents with this condition, by palpating it, it is a very cystic in consistency. Whereas in case of follicular adenoma, it is solid in consistency. And if we aspirate this nodule, we will get colloid. And if you aspirate this nodule, you don't get colloid. Cytology. So this is the end of the class. Okay, you can leave the class.